In this video, I'm building a carport. I haven't decided yet if I go for a metal prefab one or building from scratch in wood, but it will for sure go into this area right behind me. It will be about 12 feet wide and about 26 feet long. And before I can start building, I have to remove this tree and a few other things over here. So let's get started. So this is the result after tapping it for 45 minutes with a 16-pound sledgehammer. I want to start pouring the foundation as soon as possible. Concrete needs about 4 weeks to fully cure, so it can do that on its own then while I work on other stuff, like removing the remainder of the trough. I have these two 2x4s. They are 16 feet long. Well, I have 4 of them. Here's another 2, and here's number 4. But this is not enough to build the entire form for the concrete foundation. I don't want to buy any more lumber. It's super expensive right now, at least and especially for building concrete forms. So I have to work with what I have. I will be building it in sections and pouring it in sections. That will take a little bit longer, obviously, but it is the cheapest option, and that's what I'm going for. I'm building the form around these concrete blocks, so I can use those blocks to better level the forms, and then I just pour the concrete into the concrete blocks and the forms at the same time. I will show you later in this video, I hope. So I finished the form and made it a full 26 feet long and about 8 inches wide. I now need to level the area. It is relatively level already, but still I need to take off maybe about 4 or 5 inches on the one side and then make it a little more level than what it currently is. I dug a few holes all the way down to the limestone ledge, and I will sink in a few rebars, and that will really anchor the form to the huge rock here that we are sitting on. That thing won't go anywhere. So now I need to get the form straight and level. And I will be doing that by stringing a line from front to back, which will obviously be straight. And if I get it also level, then I can use that line as a guideline to align the form with. I hope that works out. I leveled the form to about 1/4 of an inch over its entire length. And I also installed these concrete forms in 3 spots. Here's where I could dig a little deeper without interfering with the roots of all the trees that much. So I only have them in 3 spots, but that should be fine. Now I need to backfill it and close out the bottom part so I can start pouring concrete. So none of this needs to be super pretty. When I'm done backfilling, all of this will be below grade. So even if the concrete is a little wider at the bottom than at the top, it doesn't really matter. It will all be covered in gravel or soil. form is ready and I bought 42 bags of the 80-pound concrete mix, so I'm ready to mix and pour. It took 26 of the 80-pound bags of concrete mix to fill this form. I let the concrete cure for about a day and then I removed the form. This is what it now looks like. Came out really good, a lot better than I expected. Then I moved the form over by 12 feet and 4 inches. That gives me a little bit of wiggle room if I want to make the carport exactly 12 feet wide. It took me a while to get it all straight and parallel and at the same level as the existing wall. But since I had a reference line with the existing wall, it wasn't that bad at all. It's always so satisfying finally taking the forms off. And this one turned out really, really nice. There are no voids. The concrete compacted nicely. And, well, I guess it's a one big solid 2,000-pound block now. Over the last few weeks, I finished the concrete footings now, and I didn't film any of it. I mean, this is very muddy, very dusty, very dirty and very repetitive, and I just wanted to get it over with. So I now have these footing walls on 3 sides. It is open to the front. This is where we'll be driving in and out. And while I was at it, I also poured some concrete footings, what will be a lean-on side shed. So the main carport structure will be relatively open. I mean, a carport is basically a roof on stilts, but this side shed I will build out as a real shed, something more enclosed, and I will put eventually the motorcycles in there and the bicycles. Haven't really figured that one out yet, but since I was working on this concrete stuff, I thought, well, let's get that one out of the way as well. So I'm almost ready now to put up the walls and build the actual carport structure, but before I do, I want to backfill all of this. And for that, I ordered 12 cubic yards of what is called road base. This is a material that compacts nicely. And I also rented a plate compactor that I will be running over this a few times. And really the idea is to get this to a relatively flat and level and solid base. Something that is not quite as good as a concrete slab, but it will be a lot cheaper. And these 12 yards might not last. I might need a lot more, but 12 is what the most that they could deliver with a single dump truck. So I will spread this out, I will get it compacted, and we'll see how far that will get me. An hour later, and this is what it looks like. Before I run the compactor over it for a second time, I want to level it as much as possible to just knock down the high spots and fill in the low spots. I'm sure there's more elegant ways of doing this, but here's what I'm gonna do. I cut myself a 2x4 that stretches the entire width, so I can rest it on the foundations on either side and then just run it across, and this gives me a straight edge here that I can fill up to and then move it along, I guess. Not sure if that's gonna work, but that's what I'm gonna try now.
The world is spinning and I'm dizzy staring at the stars. The pages in my schedule, but they're falling hard.
So it turned out that the 12 yards I ordered was the perfect amount. I just have a little bit of leftover that I spread in the front of the carport. I needed to get a little bit of leveling done in this area anyway. Now we have some rain coming. You might see the dark clouds and hear the thunder in the background. So this will for sure compact it even more, and well, then I give it a try with the car and I hope I don't sink in that much.
And we did get some rain, a lot of it actually. And there's more forecasted for the next couple of days, so I think I'm gonna hold off building the actual carport structure until the weather is a little more stable. I will end the video here, so we will have two parts, this one here now for the foundation work and then the next one for the actual carport structure. As always, thank you for watching and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.
These mountains, they can move. Sit tight, buckle up, we bound to hit our groove. I'm closing chapters, looking backwards and I'm making sense.